Really?
Let's call the caucus to order. First piece of legislation is for a new cruiser for the police department, third reading. I believe we'd like to have that pass emergency so we can get it on order.
That's correct, Mr. Mayor. We'd like to pass emergency tonight.
Any other comments or questions on that ordinance? Hearing none, the second one's from Streets and Sidewalks Committee for striping for the 2013 year. I believe we want that passed as an emergency.
That's correct.
Any other questions on, concerns on that one? Okay, a third one's from Finance Committee, a resolution accepting the amount and rates as determined by the Budget Commission and authorizing the necessary tax levies and certifying them to the county auditor. We do this every year, and we will be needing that passed emergency, correct, Bill?
Yeah, I'd like to pass. It has to be in early October, so I'd like to get it passed though since waiting.
Okay, any other comments or questions on that? The next one's an ordinance supplementing the proposal for from Lincoln and Grenoble to extend the sanitary sewer. I believe we want that passed in emergency.
This one and the next.
Yeah, I thought we were all done.
This one and the next one. Now, Stanley, this is for that payment for that small,
Oh, I'm sorry.
that small payment charge that came up after.
Right.
So that's the next two ordinances, this one and the next one.
Is that
Okay,
for the
okay,
Baker?
no problem.
Blake and Hoffman.
Blake and Hoffman.
Yeah. So we'll want to have those passed to the emergency and get those taken care of. Any comments or questions on those two? Okay, the next one from Finance, a resolution for an application to put land in an agricultural district for Donna Schrader. We're going to go 3 readings on that.
Do you know those people?
I do.
Oh, okay. If you know them, then okay.
Okay.
This will be second reading, correct?
Huh?
On this?
First. Yep. Any comments or questions on that? And the last piece of legislation is from Safety and Ordinance authorizing the Village of Lordstown to enter into an agreement with CenturyLink Sales Solutions, Inc. to provide Metro Ethernet Classic Enhanced Services for the Village of Lordstown Police Department. I believe, from talking with Captain Campbell, we need that passed this evening. Am I correct, Terry?
That's correct, so we can get the ordinance signed to get the work started.
Any comments or questions on that? Hearing none, are there any questions on the minutes in front of you for disposal this evening? Hearing none, bills, Mr. Mansell.
Mr. Mayor, I'll be making a motion again tonight to separate the bills into 2 different lists, and have one of them, the first list voted on by roll call. Okay, the bills that we're going to separate up is bill number 1, bill number 5, bill number 7, bill number 10, bill number 12, bill number 14, bill number 16, bill number 22, bill number 30, bill number 34, bill number 38, and bill number 39. Should be a total of 12 bills that will separate and vote on by roll call.
Any comments or questions on those bills which are being separated for roll call vote? Hearing none, is there anything council would like to discuss while we're still in caucus? I believe we'll be asking for an executive session to discuss our agreement with Lafarge. It shouldn't be that long at the end of the meeting.
I'll be making a motion during the regular meeting for authorizing the clerk to advertise for road salt for the upcoming winter.
There'll be no action after the executive session.
I don't think so, no. Nope. Okay, anything else council wants to discuss while we're still in caucus? Hearing none, caucus is adjourned. I'd like to welcome everybody to the Lordstown Village Council meeting. Please stand and join me for the Lord's Prayer and Pledge of Allegiance. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass
us against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Amen.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Bill, if we could have roll call, please.
Mayor Hill,
Present?
Mr. McCarthy,
Present.
Mr. Mansell,
Present.
Mr. Radka,
Present.
Mr. Sullivan,
Here.
Mr. Zolden,
Here.
Mr. Reader,
Present.
Clerk Blank present, Treasurer George Evelyn,
Here.
Solicitor Paul Dutton,
Present.
Police Chief Brent Milhone, Fire Chief Travis Eastham,
Here.
Planning and Zoning Economic Development Dave Harrison,
Present.
Parks, Buildings and Grounds Street Commissioner Dale Grimm,
Present.
Recreation Marty Gibson,
Here.
Board of Public Affairs,
Present.
Municipal Engineer Chris Kajalman. He has something to fill in.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to excuse Chief Milhone, he's out of town, and also Chris Kujolnik, they have both sent replacements, so moved. Moved by Mansell, second.
Second.
Second by Sullivan, comments, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Entertain a motion for adoption of the agenda.
So moved.
Moved by Radka, second by Zolden, comments, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Entertain a motion for disposal of the minutes of the regular meeting held August 19th, 2013.
So moved.
Moved by Sullivan, second.
Second.
Second by Reader, comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Payment of the bills, Mr. Mansell.
Yes, Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that we separate the list of bills into two lists and vote on the first list by roll call. The bills that will be separating for the first list is Bill number 1, Bill number 5, Bill number 7, Bill number 10, Bill number 12, Bill number 14, Bill number 16, Bill number 22, Bill number 30, Bill number 34, Bill number 38, and Bill number 39. That's a total of 12 bills that will be voted on by roll call.
Okay, motion by Mr. Mansell to have those bills paid by roll call. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Radka. Comments? Bill, if we could have roll call, please.
Mr. McCarthy,
Abstain.
Mr. Radka,
Yes.
Mr. Sullivan,
Yes.
Mr. Mansell,
Yes.
Mr. Reader,
Yes.
Mr. Zolden.
Yeah, on advice of Paul Dutton, Associates, Neosure, and Matt Reese from Carrington, Hoppy, and Mitchell, I will abstain.
Okay, 4 ayes, 2 abstentions. Those bills are paid. I'll entertain a motion to pay the rest of the bills. Moved by Mansell, second.
Second.
Second by Zolden. Comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. I have no mayor's report this evening. Is there a clerk's report?
No report, Mayor.
Is there a solicitor's report?
No report.
Is there a treasurer's report?
No report.
Is there a board of trustees of public affairs report?
No report today, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, is there a report from the village engineer?
No report, Mayor.
Thank you. Special reports, police. Terry, do you have anything this evening?
No, sir.
Okay, any questions for Terry? Okay, Fire Chief Easton.
No report.
Thank you. Any questions for Travis? Planning and Zoning Administrator, Director of Economic Development, Mr. Harrison.
No report, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Dave? Parks, Grounds, Building, Street Superintendent, Mr. Grimm.
Just that the Halcon's going to be starting their second leg on the Kibler pad September 9th. They've started the pad, but they're actually going to start bringing the rig in on the 9th. And received papers today for application to ODNR for 3 more permits for the Kibler site. So for 3 more legs.
So when you're looking at your Young, then?
They're still looking at Yerke Young and paving within the next couple of weeks, last time I talked to them.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions for Dale? Okay, Recreation, Marty.
No report.
Any questions for Marty? Okay, Bill, do we have any correspondence this evening?
No correspondence.
Okay, public remarks. If you'd like to make a public remark after I acknowledge you, please come to the microphone and give your name and address so we can get it recorded in the minutes correctly. Public remarks. Yes.
name is Richard Coe. I live at 3391 Lince Road. And I have a question that I'm not sure if anybody can answer or not, but Saturday, they came up with all these big trucks. They were doing echo testing or something out there. They were exploding things and getting responses and stuff. But a lot of those big trucks were out there, and they would come down and they put a device down and lifted the trucks all the way off the ground, and then they started jumping on them. And I went out afterwards and looked at the road. It started to crack the road, and I want to know if anybody's paying attention to this, or if they're going to be responsible for any damage they do to the roads by doing that, because they went all the way up and down from like Halleck Young all the way to Salt Springs on Saturday, and they performed this test. And I noticed there's a lot more cracks going across the pavement than there was before. And I'm just wondering if anybody's paying attention to that, or if they're going to be held accountable for that.
Anyone here to address Mr. Coe?
The village received payment for the sounding by the thumper trucks.
Okay.
I've been out and looked at the roads. They've done it all over the village, not just Lince Road.
Well, that's the only one I seen.
Yeah, and I don't believe that there's any more cracks, you know, where they did it to where they didn't do it.
Okay.
You know, it's something that they do on every village in the area, city, township, everybody's getting it, they do it all over.
Well, I just want to make sure somebody's paying attention to it, and you obviously are, and that's all I'm concerned about. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Richard. Public remarks? Okay, hearing none, are there any council remarks? Hearing none, committee reports. Finance, Mr. McCarthy.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I am for it. Our next meeting is on the 10th of September at 12 noon.
Okay, any questions for John? Public parks, buildings, grounds, general improvement, and recreation, Mr. Sullivan.
Just mark your calendars for the Apple Cider Festival coming up on the weekend of the 19th, 19th, 20th, 18th, 19th, 20th, I believe. So we'll give you another reminder before we hit the next council.
One more meeting.
Yeah.
Okay, any questions for Mike?
But anybody, you know, if you want the parade or sign up for any of the events, you need to be doing that now.
Is there going to be a dunk tank? I've had a lot of people ask if Stanley would be in the dunk tank.
If Stanley's there, we'll get one.
Okay, any questions for Mike? Okay, public safety and welfare, Mr. Radka.
No report tonight, Mr. Mayor. I just have two pieces of legislation we'd like to have passed emergency. That's it.
Okay, any questions for Ron? Streets and sidewalks, Mr. Mansell.
I have no report either, Mayor, but one piece of legislation tonight I'd like to see passed emergency.
Okay, any questions for John? Public utilities, Mr. Zoll.
No report, Mr. Mayor.
Any questions for Stanley? Transportation, Mr. Reader.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Not a very long report, just to let you know that we just started taking reservations for our more music concerts. That's about all that's going on there. Thank you.
Any questions for Don?
What that you're going to transport with it.
Okay, Bill, we can have the first piece of legislation.
From Safety Committee for emergency passage. An ordinance authorizing the purchase of one new 2014 Chevrolet Impala model sedan police motor vehicle for the Ohio Cooperative Purchasing Program from Taylor Chevrolet, 2510 North Memorial Drive, Lancaster, Ohio, 43130, and declaring an emergency.
Comments or motions on this piece of legislation?
Motion to suspend the rules, Mr. Mayor.
Motion to suspend the rules by Radka, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Sullivan. Roll call, please.
Mr. Mansell,
Yes.
Mr. Reader,
Yes.
Mr. Zolden,
I'll abstain on the advice of the censor.
Mr. Sullivan,
Yes.
Mr. Radka,
Yes.
Mr. McCarthy.
Yes.
5 ayes, 1 abstention, motion carries to suspend the rules. Is there a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Moved by Sullivan, second.
Second, Mr. Mayor.
Second by Reader. Comments? Roll call, please.
Mr. Sullivan,
Yes.
Mr. Zolden,
I'll abstain on the advice of the censor.
Mr. Radka,
Yes.
Mr. Reader,
Yes.
Mr. Mansell,
Yes.
Mr. McCarthy.
Yes.
5 ayes, 1 abstention, motion carries. This is ordinance 61, 2013. Next, please.
From Streets and Sidewalks Committee for emergency passage, an ordinance accepting the bid of J.D. Striping and Services, Inc. for the 2013 Lordstown Road striping project and declaring an emergency.
Comments or motions on this piece of legislation?
Motion to suspend the rules?
Motion to suspend the rules by Mansell, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Radka, roll call, please.
Mr. McCarthy?
Yes.
Mr. Radka?
Yes.
Mr. Sullivan?
Yes.
Mr. Mansell?
Yes.
Mr. Zoldan?
Yes.
Mr. Reader?
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays, motion carried to suspend the rules. Is there a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Moved by McCarthy, second.
Second, Mr. Chairman.
Second by Reader, comments? Roll call, please.
Mr. Zoldan?
Yes.
Mr. Sullivan?
Yes.
Mr. Radka?
Yes.
Mr. Reader?
Yes.
Mr. McCarthy?
Yes.
Mr. Mansell?
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays, motion carried to adopt. Ordinance 62, 2013. Next, please.
From Finance Committee for emergency passage, a resolution accepting the amount and rates as determined by the Budget Commission and authorizing the necessary tax levies and certify them to the county auditor and declare an emergency.
Comments or motions on this piece of legislation?
Motion to suspend the rules?
Motion by McCarthy to suspend the rules. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mansell. Roll call, please.
Mr. Radka?
Yes.
Mr. McCarthy?
Yes.
Mr. Sullivan?
Yes.
Mr. Reader?
Yes.
Mr. Zoldan?
Yes.
Mr. Mansell?
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays, motion carried to suspend the rules. Is there a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Moved by Radka, second.
Second.
Second by Sullivan. Comments? Roll call, please.
Mr. Mansell?
Yes.
Mr. Reader?
Yes.
Mr. Zoldan?
Yes.
Mr. McCarthy?
Yes.
Mr. Sullivan?
Yes.
Mr. Radka?
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays, motion carried to adopt. Ordinance 63, 2013.
I think that's a resolution.
Oh, excuse me. Okay,
Yeah.
excuse me, Resolution
Seven.
7, 2013. Thank you.
From Utilities Committee for emergency passage, an ordinance supplementing ordinance number 62, 2012, accepting the proposal of Lynn Kittinger and Noble, Inc. to extend sanitary sewer service to the Blake and Hoffman residential properties situated along Todd Avenue, State Route 45, and declaring.
Comments or motions on this piece of legislation?
Move to suspend the rules.
Motion by Sullivan to suspend the rules. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Zoldan. Roll call, please.
Mr. Zoldan?
Yes.
Mr. Reader?
Yes.
Mr. Mansell?
Yes.
Mr. Sullivan?
Yes.
Mr. Radka?
Yes.
Mr. McCarthy?
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays, motion carried to suspend the rules. Is there a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Moved by Mansell, second.
Second.
Second by Zoldan. Comments? Roll call, please.
Mr. McCarthy?
Yes.
Mr. Radka?
Yes.
Mr. Sullivan?
Yes.
Mr. Mansell?
Yes.
Mr. Reader?
Yes.
Mr. Zoldan?
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays, motion carried to adopt. Ordinance 63, 2013. Next, please.
From Utilities Committee for emergency passage, an ordinance repealing ordinance number 60, 2013, which was intended to supplement ordinance number 62, 2012, because of an error in referencing utility contracting as an engineer rather than Lynn Kittinger Noble, Inc. to extend sanitary sewer service to the Blake and Hoffman residential properties situated along Todd Avenue, State Route 45, and declaring an emergency.
Comments or motions on this piece of legislation?
Motion to suspend the rules?
Motion by Mansell to suspend the rules. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Zoldan. Roll call, please.
Mr. Reader?
Yes.
Mr. Mansell?
Yes.
Mr. Zoldan?
Yes.
Mr. Radka?
Yes.
Mr. McCarthy?
Yes.
Mr. Sullivan?
Yep.
6 ayes, 0 nays, motion carried to suspend the rules. Is there a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Moved by Radka, second.
Second, Mr. Chairman.
Second by Reader. Comments? Roll call, please.
Mr. McCarthy?
Yes.
Mr. Radka?
Yes.
Mr. Sullivan?
Yes.
Mr. Zoldan?
Yes.
Mr. Mansell?
Yes.
Mr. Reader?
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays, motion carried to adopt. Ordinance 64, 2013. Next, please.
From Finance Committee for emergency passage, a resolution approving the application of Donna J. Schrader, resident of 6071 Highland Avenue, Southwest, Warren, Ohio, 44481, for placement of farmland located at 6049 Highland Avenue in an agricultural district.
Comments or motions on this piece of legislation?
Motion to suspend the rules? Oh, I'm sorry, I take that back.
Hearing none, I declare this ordinance to have its, or resolution to have had its first reading. Next, please.
From Safety Committee for emergency passage, an ordinance authorizing the Village of Lordstown to enter into an agreement with CenturyLink Sales Solutions, Inc. to provide Metro Ethernet Classic Enhanced services for the Village of Lordstown Police Department and declaring an emergency.
comments or motions on this piece of legislation?
Motion to suspend the rules.
Motion to suspend the rules by McCarthy, is there a second?
Second?
Second by Radka. Roll call, please.
Mr. McCarthy?
Yes.
Mr. Radka?
Yes.
Mr. Sullivan?
Yes.
Mr. Mansell?
Yes.
Mr. Reader?
Yes.
Mr. Zolman?
On the advice of Paul Dutton, American Hockey and Mitchell, I will abstain.
5 ayes, 1 abstention, motion carries to suspend the rules. Is there a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Moved by Sullivan, second.
Second.
Second by McCarthy. Comments? Roll call, please.
Mr. Zolman?
Again, on the advice of Paul Dutton, with Harrington Hockey and Mitchell, I will abstain.
Mr. Reader?
Yes.
Mr. Mansell?
Yes.
Mr. Sullivan?
Yes.
Mr. Radka?
Yes.
Mr. McCarthy?
Yes.
5 ayes, 1 abstention, motion carries to adopt ordinance 65, 2013. Is there any old business council would like to discuss at this time? New business, Mr. Mansell.
Yes, Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that we authorize the clerk to advertise for the road salt for the year 2013, 2014.
Okay, everyone heard the motion by Mr. Mansell to advertise for road salt. Is there a second?
Second?
Second by Zolden. Comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Is there any other new business council like to discuss before I call for executive session?
You want a motion
Uh,
for the executive session?
Yeah, I'd like to have an executive session discussing contract negotiations with Lafarge, inviting mayor, council, solicitor, Mr. Harrison, and Mr. Blank's hiding, so we won't invite him. I'll entertain a motion to that effect.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Sullivan, second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Reader. There will be no action taken except adjourn after this, and it will be after public remarks. Roll call, please.
Mr. McCarthy?
Yes.
Mr. Radka?
Yes.
Mr. Sullivan?
Yes.
Mr. Mansell?
Yes.
Mr. Reader?
Yes.
Mr. Zoltan?
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays, motion carried for that executive session. Hearing no other new business, are there any additional public remarks this evening? Okay, we will adjourn the executive session.